Good morning, students. Think and discuss. Do you think energy is lost, destroyed at each of the tropic levels? Remember, you have studied in chapter 3 about conversion of energy from one form to the another. Okay, so we have studied energies are converting. That means solar energy will be converting to the electrical energy, and sometimes wind energy also changes into the electrical energy. So there are energies conversions are there. In our body also energy changes. The nutrients, energy, everything changes into the chemical energy. Okay, so here it is there produced. The first everything is the primary source is what? Sun. From the sun, solar energy received by the plants, so that plants prepare the food and they give us the vegetables and everything. So producers, they are the givers. Then primary consumers. Consumer means eating. And secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, decomposers. Decomposers means what? The dead animals or dead plants are that are able to mix in the soil. It is the decomposers. And energy used in life processes and expelled as respiratory waste and excretory products, etc. We use the energy at the same time. Waste products also sent out of the body. Animals, plants, birds, or the human beings. Anybody, any living organisms able to send the waste products to the outside after using the energy. Okay, respiratory waste means the carbon dioxide we breathe out. Okay, and oxygen we breathe in. So estimated energy flow in the ecosystem. Food chains and food webs also start with decomposing substances. Food chains and food webs, not only it starts with the plants, it also will be starting with the which one? Decomposers. That means when the plants die, they will be mixing in the soil. They become the manure, and from that we get the new plants. And also animals also die, they mix in the soil and it becomes manure sometimes for the plants. So we plant where we keep the plants in the soil. So in that soil only all the dead animals, dead plants are mixing. So sometimes food web and food chain can also start with the decomposer. So you see, this is the decomposing substance, dead animal. Okay, so from that which one is coming? Some bacteria, fungi, virus are growing. Okay, and mushroom will grow where? On the decomposers only. Okay, so the mushroom will be starting with where? Decomposers. So pathway, about one such pathway in the habitat of Kanimachri of Kotumsar caves. Here is another such example. Organisms that grow on the decomposing body of a bird, like certain bacteria. So from this bird, bacteria, some yeast and virus are growing. Okay, eaten by the paramecium. Okay, so here some bacteria is there, it is eaten by another one, and this bacteria is eaten by paramecium, and paramecium is eaten by the spider. So, and insects that feed on the decomposing waste. Okay, so this is the one. So decomposing this is a source of energy. Then primary consumer, and we have the secondary consumer. Okay, so at the bottom of oceans where solar energy does not reach, sun will not reaching the deep of the sea in the ocean. So there are food webs that start with the bacteria that thrive not on solar energy but energy in the chemicals of the hot springs. So they don't get the sun from the solar energy. So from where do they get the primary source? From the chemicals of the hot springs inside the sea itself. So from that some bacteria will be growing, and from that some other things will grow. These hot springs, underline this one, these hot springs arise at the vents of volcanoes. Volcanoes, you know very well, in the social science you might have studied. At the ocean floor, and the temperature is often as hot as 400 degrees Celsius in the deep of the ocean. So at the bottom of the ocean, solar energy will not be reaching. So food webs, they start with what? Start with the bacteria. this bacteria will not depend upon the solar energy, but it depends upon where it gets energy. It gets energy from the chemicals of the hot springs. In the ocean, in the seas, food web or food chain will start with the bacteria. This bacteria gets energy from where? From the hot springs, chemical hot springs of the ocean. And on plants on the land depends upon what? Solar energy. Okay, so they get energy from the solar. So we observed that each tropic level energy is expelled or expanded through wastes or in running life processes respectively. Sometimes through the life processes. Life processes means what? Nutrition, digestion and circulatory system, and then respiratory system and excretory system we studied. So through all these waste products comes outside. That waste will be sending out. Waste produces contain energy that are no longer of use to the organism that produce them. They can be useful to others. That substance in the nature as constantly being recycled. For example, gobar is the waste for the cows, waste food. But that gobar becomes a manure and energy for the plants. Okay, so like that only we also release the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is what? It is the waste, but it is very useful for the plants to prepare the food. So that waste products also have some kind of energy which helps for other organisms. So continuously recycled means it is purified and used again and again. Chemical compounds in abiotic substances in nature like wastes of living organisms and other chemicals present in the soil, air and water are in constant circulation from biotic to abiotic source, vice versa. That means abiotic components, water also will be recycled. Yes, and so we may study about this in the form of a cycle of nutrients. Okay, nutrient cycle, flow of substances. So we study about the nutrient cycle here.